Hello, today we are into discussing a topic from Unit 2 strings, that is string palindrome. So here comes the first question. What are palindromes? So palindromes are basically the strings. Palindromes are the strings that are read the same from first to last or last to first. For example, if we are talking about string, it's a group of characters which is read the same from first to last and last to first. So therefore, coming back to string palindromes, example mom, dad, madam, are a few strings which are examples of palindromes. And examples of not palindromes are not, go, got, which are read the ulta, not the same when we read it from the other end. So there are a number of logics which we can devise to check out if a particular string is a palindrome or not. So one of such simplest ways of finding out if a string is palindrome or not is this way. First, find out take a string. Example, take a string s1 is equal to mom. Take another string s2, reverse it and store it. So s2 tends to store the same string mom. So then start comparing both the strings. Compare s1 and s2. If they are same, then you say yes, they are palindromes. Yes, they are palindromes. Otherwise, you say no, they are not palindromes. So this is one of the general ways in which we try to write a logic where we determine if the two strings are palindrome or not. So on the other hand, you can also have another logic which helps us to check out if a particular string is a palindrome or not. So that is, imagine, let me take a string example. Let us take s1 is equal to madam. We all know that string is a collection of characters, so therefore they are stored in various positions, M, A, D, A, M, and followed by 0. So the indices, let us suppose this is s1, so the indices are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, where n, that is nothing but the length of the string. Length of the string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Length of the string is 5. So we now try to solve see how to check out the length of the string. So we have a pretty logic. We can simply find out the length of the string by writing strlen of s1, which is a predefined function available in string.h, and therefore we get the length of the string. Which is 5. Madam is a 5-letter word, M-A-D-A-M, madam, which is a 5-letter word. So we tend to go and see and how to find out. So the logic that we are now checking out is, take 2 pointers I and j, M-A-D-A-M, madam. Take 2 pointers I that starts at 0. Take another pointer j which starts at length minus 1. Length is 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. So start pointing your j at 4. 0, 1, 2, 3. As the definition of palindrome says, palindromes are the strings which are read the same from both the ends. So that essentially means what is there at str of I must be equal to the character at str of j, because j is going from the rightmost end and I is starting from the leftmost end. So the character at the leftmost end must match the character at the rightmost end. If this happens, it's a palindrome, and if this doesn't happen, it seems not to be a palindrome. So therefore, the value at I is 0. So let's recheck it again. So the string is madam, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the value of I. Let's have a table that matches. This is the value of I. This is the value of j. We are checking out S1 of I and S1 of j. And we see if it is same or not. So if it is same, we'll tend to proceed and check out and do I plus plus and j minus minus. Therefore, we continue to check as long as we do checking from each end as long as I less than or equal j. So I proceeds from this way, j proceeds from this way. We do the side comparisons as long as I less than or equal to j. So therefore, initially I value is 0, j value is 4, the value at m is equal to m true. So therefore, I plus plus, j minus minus. So therefore, I becomes 1, j becomes 3, the value at 1 is a, and the value at 3 is also a. So a is equal to a true. So therefore, I plus plus, I becomes 2, j minus minus, j becomes 2, the value at 2 and 2 is d. So d is equal, d is true. So therefore, I plus plus, I becomes 3, j minus minus, j becomes 1. The logic I less than or equal to j, which is 3 less than or equal to 1 is false. When I less than or equal to j is false, implies that you have finished checking off your entire string and all the characters from first and last matches. So therefore, hence we can conclude that the string is palindrome. Let's take another example and check out for a string which is not a palindrome and check how does this work. For example, let us take a simple string mad 0, 1 and 2. So value of I, value of j, value of I and value of j. So let's try to plot again let's try to trace it. Initially I tends to 0, j is n minus 1, n is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So the value is m, which and the value at s1 of j is d. M is equal to d is false. So your I is still less than or equal to g, but the characters do not match. Since s1 of I is not equal to s1 of j, it means the first and the last characters are not same. So therefore you can happily conclude that the string is not a palindrome. So here we go, our logic. This is the simplest logic that takes 2 pointers, one pointing to the first of the string and one pointing to the last of the string, and the first pointer moves forward and the last pointer moves backward. Try to check if there are any mismatch in the characters available. In this case, M and D do not match, so therefore it's not a palindrome. Okay, so let's take up a C program and see how does this work. So here goes a C program, which is okay. Let's have a plain background first. Here we have a simple C program. So here we have a simple C program that checks if my string is palindrome or not. So this is how you check. This is a program that helps you to see whether a string is palindrome or not. So palindrome. As we all know, palindromes are the strings that are read the same from both the ends. So here we go. This is a string palindrome. Take on a string S1, enter a string, you read a string, find the length of the string using, there are two ways of finding the length of the string. One is using this predefined function called strlen, which is there in string.h. So therefore I've included string.h. Or the other one is use a for loop. Use a for loop for, this is, we all know, for length equal to 0, s1 of length not equal to s1 of length not equal to null, length plus plus, length plus plus, and a semicolon. So the purpose of this loop is to iterate till a place where the index length points to a null character. So that obviously becomes length, and this is another way of trying it. So we check out both the ways and see which works, both the ways and see how does it work. So this is the length of the string. Find the length of the string, start traversing your loop as we just discussed. I starts with 0, j starts with length minus 1. As long as your I less than or equal to j, proceed by incrementing I and decrementing j as long as there is something, if they are equal. So if something is not equal, whenever you find a mismatch, simply stop the process and say it's not a palindrome. That's how we proceed to check our program. So save, compile, and run. So enter a string example. The string is madam, M-A-D-A-M, madam. So madam is a palindrome. So this is what it says. Let's take another run and run this program for something which is not a palindrome. Example, yeah, as we discussed, we'll take mad and see. Mad is not a palindrome because the value at 0, that is M, and the value at 2, that is D, both doesn't match. So let's take up another example and see. Alt R run. Let's take up an example. A, B, C, ABS, BA. ABS, BA is a palindrome. It has both the strings matching. Let's, instead of strlen, if suppose someone asks us to write a logic without using predefined functions, so then this is how we can try out. I had a for loop, okay, subscript missing semicolon, str of length not equal to null, alt F, save, compile, run. Enter your string madam again. Okay, let's have something. Dad. Dad is a palindrome. Yes, run it. enter a string apple. Apple is not a palindrome. Advantage of this logic is it minimizes. You have a simple idea of writing it because it clearly says when the strings is compared from both the ends, they have to have matching characters. If not, it's not a palindrome. So it's a simple logic. Hope you understood this logic. We'll continue with the other example some other time, and good day. Thank you.